Everything looks hype. I'm thrilled for Shield and Sword. Hey everyone, Templar74 here with another episode of PokeTalk, and today's episode of PokeTalk is going to be a discussion regarding the Pokemon Direct that happened earlier today, the news that we got, and my thoughts and opinions on it. But before I get into that, I do want to take a second to apologize to you guys. I know this video is coming late, but I had to work today. But as soon as I got home, I saw the Direct on YouTube, and I gotta say, I was hyped for everything here. It was a typical Direct. We got introduced to some new humans, some new Pokemon, the legendaries, the box art cover, and a confirmed release date. So it was a typical Direct, but a lot happened here. So at risk of further rambling, let's get on to it. So we're going to begin this episode actually with the introduction of the legendaries here. We got introduced to the legendaries of the Galar region, and those are Zacian, the sword Pokemon, and Zamazenta, the shield Pokemon. And is it just me, or does Zamazenta look a lot like Solgaleo? And the other thing about Zacian, I know that we were going to get shield and sword legendaries here, but really with Zacian's design, it's got the sword in his mouth. It's a really interesting concept. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, but yeah, those are the legendaries here, Zamazenta and Zacian. Then we get introduced to some new Pokemon here. We get introduced to Grossephleer and Elgigros, and these are evolved forms of one another. They're grass types, and they have the ability of Cotton Drown and Regenerator. Then we get introduced to Wooloo. It's a normal type, it's a sheep Pokemon, and it has the abilities of Fluffy and Runaway. Not really sure about how I should feel about that Pokemon, to be honest with you, just with that description alone. So anyway, that's Wooloo. Then we get into Corviknight, the bird Pokemon that gets introduced to every Direct. I gotta be honest with you, Ash, catch Corviknight. It's my favorite Pokemon that we've gotten so far. You get a bird anyway, catch this Corviknight. This thing is a flying and steel type, and it has the abilities of Pressure and Unnerve, and it's probably going to be a dark type. It looks awesome. Well, I know it's a flying steel type, but it looks like a dark type. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, it looks awesome. Really hope Ash catches a Corviknight in Galar, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So anyway, then we get introduced to Dreadnought. It's a water rock type and has the abilities of Strong Jaw and Shell Armor. It's pretty much the turtle Pokemon of the Galar region here, but it does look awesome. Yeah, the concept art looks great. Really excited for that. Okay, so now we're going to get into some of the humans here. We get introduced to Milo, and he's a gym leader in the Galar region who specializes in grass-type Pokemon, and he is also seen to use the Dynamaxed Elgigros. And I do want to take a second here because Dynamaxed is going to be the new dynamic in Gen 8 here. Last time it was Z-Moves. Before that, it was Mega Evolution. Now it's Dynamaxed here. And Dynamaxed is not a whole lot could be gauged from it. You do wear a special bracelet to activate it, much like the Z-Move here. But yeah, it's a different animal here, and it does look pretty interesting in my opinion. And yeah, we're going to get into a little bit more of that as we get on. So let's get back to the humans in this discussion. Then we get introduced to Leon. He is the current champion of the Galar region. He has never been defeated in an official Pokemon battle. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there because that's going to lead me into an anime discussion, which I really don't want to do at the moment, anime speculation. So yeah, Leon, we get introduced to the champion here. Then we get introduced to Hop. He's Leon's younger brother and one of the player's rivals. He aims to be champion one day just like his older brother. So we get introduced to the rival. Then we get introduced to the professor for the Galar region. The professor this time around is going to be Professor Magnolia. She is the preeminent Pokemon professor of the Galar region, and she specializes in researching the Dynamaxed phenomenon. So yeah, we're going to get another female professor here, and the professor of the Galar region is going to be named after the Magnolia tree. So yeah, we're going to continue the trend of professors named after trees here. So yeah, we get introduced to Magnolia. Then we have Sonia, and she's Professor Magnolia's granddaughter and Leon's childhood friend. She is a young researcher herself working as Magnolia's assistant. I'm not going to give my thoughts on Sonia yet, but she does have a great design here, and she looks to be a very promising character. We got new alternative artwork for the starters here. I'm just kind of scrolling through the Direct here because I couldn't remember everything off the top of my head. So yeah, please bear with me as I'm scrolling through. And then we hear the Dynamaxing phenomenon again. And this is where we get a little more information into it. Pokemon become incredibly large with Dynamaxing and tremendously powerful, but the effect can only last 3 turns and can only be performed once per battle. So this is going to be kind of a hybrid because you get a big power up, a big boost, much like the Z move. And much like the Z move, it can only be used once per turn. It's interesting concept. The Pokemon get much bigger, they get more powerful, much like Mega Evolution, but at the same time can only be used once, and it does have limitations like the Z move. So in a way, I guess it's kind of like fusing the best and the setbacks of both of these here to come up with a new phenomena. So new mechanic, very interesting. Then we get introduced to the Dynamax band, which is required for Dynamaxed Pokemon, and only trainers who have one can Dynamax their Pokemon. So that's, of course, is the bracelet-like thing with the Z move, or kind of like the Z move, rather. So yeah, we see that too. And I think it's interesting here because, you know, we get into these different dynamics, and I was really torn on what they should do here. Dynamaxed wasn't going to be my first option. It wasn't going to be an effect that I would first pick, but considering this is what we got in the context of it, I really am interested to see this, and I'm going to wait to form an opinion on that before I get too much further into that. And then we also learn that when they're Dynamaxed, they become max moves. They're powerful and have several different effects as well. Again, I think Dynamaxed is safely going to be kind of like a hybrid between a Z move and Mega Evolution. I think that's really the best way to sum it up for people that haven't seen the Direct. We learned that we can also do boss battles here, where 3 trainers, either your online friends or generated by the computer, will be able to go up against Dynamaxed Pokemon in the wild areas here. So I'm not entirely sure on that because, of course, you have to have the Dynamax band, but yet these can happen in the wild areas. This was something that I still could not wrap my head around, and I'm still trying to think about how I feel about it right now. But this is a very interesting phenomenon to me. I'm going to be very interested to see some of the backstory in this, but I'm grateful that we're going to get boss battles, which is something that I've wanted to see here, so we can check another one off of that list. Then we get into the part of this that cringed me, because I thought the most annoying thing that they did in Sun and Moon was the Rotom Dex, and I was really hoping that was going to go away. And it did in a way, but it didn't, because now we learned that Rotom is going to be in a cell phone in the Galar region, and it's going to be traveling with you much like the Pokedex. So yeah, you're gonna get another Rotom Dex here. It's just going to be in a cell phone form. I really wanted that to go away. This is the one part of it that made me cringe. I am not happy about this, but yeah, I guess we're just stuck with that. And then we get, of course, we learn that we still are going to have character customization here. We're going to have new abilities here, new covers of the Pokemon art here we got with the legendaries, and we've now learned the confirmed release date will be November 15th, 2019. And yeah, those are the highlights. So with all of that being said, like I said, for the most part, I'm really excited for the Galar region. I'm really excited for Gen 8. I'm really excited for Shield and Sword. I'm really excited to learn more of the backstory in some of this, although on some things like the Dynamaxed and the wild areas, some of the aspects of characters, those kinds of things, I'm going to wait to play the game to give a full opinion on them, but right now it looks promising, and I will say that. So anyway, everybody, those were my thoughts on the Direct, but as always, in the comments section down below, let me know what you guys thought about it. What were your thoughts? What are you most hyped for? What are you least hyped for? Just let me know what your guys' thoughts are about all this in the comments section down below, because as always, I enjoy hearing from you. Alright everyone, as always, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.